Well, I'm very happy with tonight's performance. Really respect North Dakota State. I think they're that type of team, and I know that usually they are that team that has the opportunity to finish very high in their conference and compete for their conference tournament championship, and you end up seeing them in the NCAA tournament. I know Gonzaga a few years ago played them in the NCAA tournament, but they're a very skilled basketball team. When you watch them on film, it doesn't give you a good feeling. And the first 10 minutes of the game reflects my comments. They can shoot the ball at 4 positions, and you're not going to play against the team on offense in the half court that moves the ball and plays together better than them. And it challenged our defense, and we rose to the occasion. It was nice to see, whether you were a starter or a guy coming in off the bench, our guys played with really good effort, were in the right place, challenged their three-point shooting, 8 for 27. For the most part, a lot of those threes were challenged, even a couple of the ones they made, and that was a big part of our game plan. Offensively, and we've played very consistent offense. I haven't coached a team who's had 5 turnovers very often. It's hard to play with 5 turnovers in a 40-minute game, and I think 2 of our 5 turnovers might have been in the first minute. So guys were sharing the ball. We're learning how to get the ball inside easier. And obviously a lot of good things happen when we get it, not to just DeAndre, but also Dusan.
Do you have any updates on Alonzo's knee injury?
I don't. I think we're hoping for the best. You don't really know with those things until you let a night go by and maybe further take a look at it tomorrow. But I think, number one, he suffered some form of a bone bruise. And if it's more than that, it would have happened because he collided with another guy's knee. But it's scary for a player when that happens. It doesn't feel right. But we're hoping for some good news. It seems to be positive, but we'll know more tomorrow.
It certainly doesn't seem like a long-term, month-long or season-ending thing.
I don't know. That's a heck of a question. 3 months, 2 months, 4, 5. I'm not sure. We're going to have to take a look at it. We'll know more tomorrow. Could be one day.
What stood out to you the most from tonight? What was the thing you're going to look back on, I guess, fondest from tonight's game?
We put it together on defense and offense. It wasn't just offense. It wasn't just 2 players. It wasn't a stretch defensively, I think, for the most part. And I give them credit. Our opponent, in the first 8 minutes, they really execute. But we put it together on both ends, and we've talked a lot about it. We're working very hard as a group to improve defensively. And tonight, I believe we took a step forward. Alonzo as a player, one of the other things is he's really passing the ball well. He had 4 assists, no turnovers. Some of our best plays offensively. It's great to see him making those types of decisions. And, I think the chemistry between DeAndre and him in terms of throwing the ball high is growing, which is a good sign. And, it becomes contagious. Our other players see how that works, and you want to go to it. But, maybe the last 5-6 minutes of the first half, we had some great plays getting the ball inside, and good things are going to happen for our team when we get it in there.
Over the last 5 games, you must be pretty pleased with how you guys are progressing in terms of everything you just said, defense, offense, and things.
We're getting better, and again, I want to just caution everybody on Raleigh. It's not as easy just to be out 11 weeks, sit out 8-9 weeks where you can't even run, and then all of a sudden plug you right in and you're hitting on all cylinders. I know he played great against New Mexico. It was a fast game, and he had a terrific night. And tonight he had some really good moments. Maybe he didn't play quite as well tonight, but he's going to be like that for a while. Same thing offensively. We have very few things for him on offense because he just showed up. So it made no sense for us to have a lot of maybe plays in the playbook for Raleigh because he wasn't playing. But as we get him back, there are a few things we have to give him to help develop our team and develop him on offense.
On the defensive end, he must be a guy, he called himself the instigator with the team, but his addition probably wraps up what you need most is that defensive guy or defensive stretch where your team is better.
It gives us more depth as well. So you're not counting on some of the younger guys just to be out there for 25 minutes. They can come in the game and play really hard. That's the other thing. Give our bench a lot of credit tonight. We had positive play from almost every player that entered the game. Ira Lee in the first half gave us a big boost of energy and defended and did the things that he can do. And Dylan Smith and Brandon Randolph, those guys, they're going to continue to get more comfortable the more they're out there. The one thing about our non-conference schedule, we've played 6 games away from home. We've played some really good teams. We've lost games. We've won close games. So you go through those experiences as a player, plus practice, you start to figure it out. And, my hope is that all of our guys are figuring it out as we enter Christmas and, the Pac-12.
With the defending threes in particular, this team's turned a corner, particularly in getting to where you want them to be. I mean, there was...
Tonight we took a big step. We didn't defend the three-point shot particularly well against New Mexico. But tonight we did against a very good three-point shooting team, a team that depends a lot from the three-point line. We challenged the 8 threes they made. It wasn't like we gave it to them.
What do you expect? What do you expect on Thursday from UConn, and what in particular do you hope you guys can take away from a matchup against an AAC team, almost a Big East, but American Athletic Conference team like UConn with so much history on it?
Well, we played UConn, and we scheduled this about 3 or 4 years ago, I think almost before they won the national championship or maybe right afterwards. So we chose to play them in a home and away. Not a lot of teams want to play home and away. They did. So we played them to play a national game, play a national program. I mean, they're a national championship team. Kevin Ollie's a national championship coach, and they've won more than once. They've won 4 or 5, I think, right? So everybody respects UConn, including us. So, we have them here in our home court, and hopefully we can be at our best on Thursday. This game is a big step, though, in preparing us and getting us ready. And now our record is 9-3. At one point we were 3-3. So we're moving in the right direction, and hopefully we can put a great performance together and beat a very, very quality program on Thursday. UConn.
Jason asked DeAndre how it felt to have a winning defender on him. He said it was paradise. When you see one guy on DeAndre, what do you think?
Well, he has to get the ball. He really does. I mean, it's just, you can't choose not to throw it to him because the percentages are just overwhelmingly in our favor. He's a willing passer and an excellent passer. Some of our best three-point shots came because the ball got inside and then out. Number 2, he's a very good free throw shooter. He's a better free throw shooter than actually he's shown. So if he gets fouled, that's good. If the other team fouls him, that hurts them. Puts us in the bonus. Sometimes a quality player has to sit on the bench. Not to mention, he's shooting about 60% when he gets it in there. So you add all that up, if he has a guy on his back. I'll also tell you this, ditto for Dusan. Dusan has improved his assist to turnovers. He's also a very good free throw shooter, and man, I thought he played really well tonight. His 8 rebounds, he earned them, and he did it in 22 minutes of play. So Dusan is playing some really good basketball. That's what you want a senior to do, to take the next step, and I believe that he's doing that.
Can Emmanuel still make a move for your rotations? Like I don't know if he's one of the guys you're referring to as playing well off the bench.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, we're the furthest thing from being settled, and you saw it happen tonight. Foul trouble, injury. Even if it's an injury that takes a guy out for 1 game. Alex Barcelo didn't play, for a game there, and put a lot of pressure on Alonzo to be our backup point guard, right? So over the long course of the season, you need everybody, and Emmanuel is somebody we really believe in. His tendonitis has hurt him and hasn't allowed him to be practicing and available. In the Bahamas, he wasn't able to play against Purdue. If we wanted to put him in, he wouldn't go. He couldn't go. So there are times when that's plagued him, but his legs will keep getting stronger. He's working really hard, and I think over the next month, 2 months, as he gets more strength and we're smart with him, if that tendonitis really goes away, he could be a guy that really impacts what we do down the stretch.
Part of it all psychological in the sense that it's tendonitis, it's not an injury, but
it affects him. It affects him. Like you can see when he runs full speed and slows down the stop, he almost like cushions the stop because he feels pain. But he's really had that the last couple of years, and some young people that grow like he's grown experience that. But we have everything now. I mean, from doctors to the weight room to Justin. Sometimes we hold him from practice, but it's all about strengthening his flexibility and getting more flexibility and strengthening the right areas of his body, and we're hard at it. There'll come a time when he doesn't have tendonitis, is what I'm being told. And Emmanuel knows that as well. But he's worked hard, and as he's worked hard, you saw it tonight, he made some really positive plays.
Is there a point where you say to yourself that you want the rotation settled by a certain game or a certain month?
No doubt. I mean, we would love to have it settled now. It's not like we predetermine and, hey, we'll have it settled once Christmas comes. Sometimes, in teams that we've had, it almost seems like from the first week of the season, unless somebody gets injured, you basically have your rotation. But because of so much change from last season to this season, it's hard to get it right, in particular with Raleigh being out for as long as he was. But we're learning. Our players are learning, and I think we're close to having it where we're at.
Isn't that a good thing, though? You have enough people there to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. We've depended on some guys, though, and they haven't necessarily come through. I mean, that's a fact. You lose 3 games in 3 days in the Bahamas, somebody's not playing well. And it was a lot of guys that are fighting for the rotation. It wasn't just them. But do I think that they're better right now than they were then? Absolutely. But we needed them to be good then, and they weren't. So getting Raleigh back is by far, I think, the biggest shot in the arm. And, hopefully Alonzo will be okay. But the development of our young players is a big part of our program. And it's something we have to do well, because when you have guys coming in off the bench, in addition to the starters, playing well, that's when you're really a good team. And I think we have the makings of that maybe in our future.
Well, Alex didn't play in the first half, but played quite a bit in the second. Is he over that ankle, the ankle thing, or how is he doing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we wouldn't have played him tonight if he wasn't healthy. We've given him almost an entire week. Justin's guided us. We've listened to him. We've talked to Alex, and he was able to go through yesterday's non-contact and today's shoot-around. But it was good for him to get out there. We need him.